Hello everyone, in this video we will be building this login template, and first I just want to show you what we are going to build. So it's simple on the surface, but when you click on sign up you get this registration page, and when you click on sign in you get this login page back again. So it's simple, but it covers a lot of basic concept of CSS and mainly the backface visibility property. So let's get started. So first I'm gonna go to my login template folder that I've opened in Atom text editor, and as you can see I already have the images that I'm gonna use in this video. So if you want to get these images, you can get the link in the description below, and also for the code. So let's start it by creating our index HTML file. So index.html, and there's one more file that I need for now, that is style.css. I'm not gonna create the JavaScript file now, but we have to use a little bit of jQuery because that's what we need for this button functionality to work. So basically I'm just gonna start now, and I'm using a plugin called Emmet, and actually it's available for all the text editor that I know of. So you can easily download it from the web. It's actually nice. It really helped me to start the markup very fast. So first I'm gonna create a container div, and in that div I'm just gonna create one class with one div with a class pane for now, and I'm just gonna create another one. So these are going to be the pane that you see, two different cards that you see on the screen here. So I'm just gonna open this file now, and it's empty as you can see. So in this file, what I want first, this is the first pane that was here, in which we had those buttons for sign in and sign up. So I'm just gonna start writing the markup for this one first. So let's see, what do we have here. First of all, we need one image tag, and for this I'm just gonna link it to this background image that I have here. So, and this is I don't know, background. Well, I don't need this for now because I know it's gonna load up, but it's always a good practice to give the alt property, so that if in case your image doesn't load up, you make sure it makes sure that this text would come up. So after this, what I want is I want to have some text. So I'm just gonna name it context or content whatever, and in that I just want to have h3, and let's say I'm just gonna put the name of my channel. So feel free to write whatever you want here, and yeah, and after that I just want a span tag. Span tag, and here I just want to mention the technologies that we are using in this. So this one is HTML CSS and JQuery we'll be using. So let's see how does it look. Not good actually. So we will take care of that once we'll start writing our CSS. After that, what I want, I just want to have one footer, and inside of this I just want to have my links with class link. Yeah, so I don't want them to go anywhere. I just want the text here. So sign in and sign up. Yeah. After this, so before we move on to the second pane, let's start styling this a bit. So I'm just gonna open this, and I'm gonna split them. So let's see here, and I'm gonna close this. First I'm gonna include this, so link, and that is styles.css that I have in here. And actually I want to get this word wrap, so you know the text doesn't get cut. So first let's reset it. So margin 0 pixel and padding 0 pixel. And for our body, what I want is I want a width of 100%, and then height of whole viewport height, and then line height. And actually this is used for whenever I write text, so that I have a decent amount of spacing between the lines of the text. Well, it's not necessary now, because anyways we are not going to write too much of text here, but I always like to include this in case we write. So here Helvetica and sans serif. So we are gonna use this font family here, and I want the background to be off-white. So I'm just gonna put this color in the background. Now let's start with so now we have these paints. So for our container, what I want is I want it to have a width of 80%, let's say, and I want to keep this in center vertically and horizontally. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna position this absolute, and it's actually a very nice way for keeping your div in the center, by giving it a top of 50% and left of 50%. And now you translate it, transform and then translate to minus 50% and then minus 50%. So that's how you place your div in the center. So when you do this, I guess it will change some of our code. Yeah, it did, but the image is pretty big, so it's not gonna look nice now. Now let's start with this pane. So what I want is first of all, before moving to this, I want to display it. I want to give it a display property of flex, and I want content to be spaced around, and for this I want to give it a width of I don't know, maybe 300 pixel, and height of 500 pixel for now. So still it's look very bad, because the image is pretty big. So let's start with the image, and what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna write it directly in the image tag. Or what, let's not do that, just give it a class. So I'm gonna give it a class of bg for background, and here I'm just gonna write it and want width to be 50 pixel. So that will change. Oh, it didn't. Yeah, that's because I didn't save this. Yeah, so now it's completely gone. So it's very very small now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it a width, a background color, so that we can see how big are they actually. So for this, let's say give it a white background. So yeah, so we do see this, and we'll due to some reason this is not working. So translate position is absolute and pane. Let me just see what's wrong here. So let's see, container, and yeah, so that is the problem. I misspelled this, so I'm just gonna write it container, and after that if I save this and refresh, yeah, I see two different pane, so which is right actually. And for this background I wanted to expand all the way to the right. So I want it to be 100%. So now we see this. Now for our height, I'm just gonna mention this. Actually, if you don't mention height, it's gonna keep it, in a square. So I don't want that. I want it to be in a rectangular shape. If you think of it like that. So height, I'm just gonna give it 500 pixel, which is actually the height of the pane that we have given. So if I do this, I get this, but I do actually want this to be this big. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just increase the height of this pane. So let's see, yeah, this looks nice. Now for our content, I don't want this content to be out of this image. I actually want it to be on the top of this image. So for that, what I can do is content, and I'm just gonna put this, I don't know, position absolute. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, for this to work, it's very important that you define a position for your parent element. So otherwise it's gonna take the position according to the element in which you have defined the position. So in this case it will take the position of the container. So with respect to that, it will do that. But now we have defined the position of the parent element, so it's gonna place the content respect to this pane element. I hope that makes sense. So now it's here actually, but let's do one thing. Let's do top 40% and left 40%. Yeah, so now the content is gone, but actually that's here if I do this. And the reason why it's coming like this, and that's simply because that's the behavior of top on left. So what we have to do is we have to transform this and then translate to minus 50% and then minus 50% again for x and y. So now it's gonna be placed. Let me first give it some color that we can actually see. So for that I want it to be white. Yeah, so we can see that now. And I'm just simply gonna put text align, and that is center. So now we see this. Yeah, and let me give it a width of I don't know, 80%, and margin auto. No, that's not gonna work. Yeah, that's because I've given it a left of 40. So I'm just gonna 50 here. Yeah, now that's in center. So but for this span tag, I actually want it to be a little bit off white. So in this content, what I can do is for our span, I can give it a color of say, yeah, that doesn't make much difference though. Let's make it, yeah, even that doesn't make much difference. So let's try. Yeah, that does. So actually it's all up to you, how do you want to style this text, but I'm not gonna waste too much time on this because we have a lot to do still. So now for our footer, what I'm gonna do is For our footer, I'm simply gonna position this absolute, and I want it at the bottom. So bottom I want 0 pixel. Now after this, I want it to display flags, and for our links inside of this, so for our class link, I want to, let's say, flex1. No, that's not right. If I save this and I refresh, it's gonna give me this. So I'm just gonna put a width of 50% for each of them, so they will have width. But actually I haven't defined anything for the footer, so that's why it's giving me this problem. So let's say 100% for this, and now we have this. So what I want the text alignment to be in center, and we get this now. And I don't want these links to sit right at the edge, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it a padding of let's say 5 pixel from top and bottom, and 0 pixel for left and right. So that's how it is. And now I want to give it a margin of, let's say, again 5 pixel for top and bottom, and 0 for left and right. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a line between them. So for that, what I can do is I can do link, and then for the first child, I can give a border right property. So border right, and let's give it 1 pixel solid, and let's make this of this color. So yeah, that's right. So now we have these links set up. So what I'm gonna do next is, first one more thing, I just want to remove this text decoration. So for color, I'm just gonna put this of, let's say, the same color, and text decoration, I'm just gonna say none. So I have these links like that, but I don't want this to be this much faded. Yeah, so actually still I want to make some changes to this, so let's do 6. Yeah, that looks nice. And now when we, for our hover state, what I want to do is I want to just provide a underline when we hover over this. So text decoration and then underline. Yeah, so that's nice. And I want these pane to have some sort of a 3D effect. So for that, what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna give it a border radius, which is not required for that 3D effect, but I really like it, so that it doesn't look too much pointy around the edges. So, and after that I just want to give a box shadow of let's say 0 pixel for that, and 10 pixel. Yeah, I guess, I don't know, maybe let's see what looks nice. And this 3. Yeah, so now it looks much cleaner for our buttons as well. So let's start with the front face of this. So for that, what I'm gonna do is yeah, first I'm gonna create a card class, a div with a class card, and after that I want to have a div with face. Okay, and I want another div with the same class. and I'm gonna add another class, let's say front for this, and back for this. So I'm just gonna simply put login here for now, login, and I don't know, register, so when we see this, we get this right now. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put register at the back of this login, and so that we can have this flip. So for this also I'm gonna add another class, that is, let's call the flip wrapper, and this class. So let's save this and start styling for the flip functionality that we want. So for this, let's start with flip wrapper class, and for this what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the WebKit perspective property. And what this property is actually, it actually gives you actually you specify the value from how far you want this this effect to see. Actually it's a little bit hard to explain, but I'll show you this in action, and then it will be more clear to you what I'm trying to say here. So let's put this 1000 for now, and position, let's say relative. Okay, and for our card class, what I want to do is for this class I want it to have some style, like I don't know, let's put WebKit styles. So transform style of preserve 3D. I believe that is the value that I want to give. Preserve 3D, I guess. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's right. And for the transition time, what I want to specify is create transition, and I wanted to give let's say 1 second for now. Okay, now for our face, what I want to give is position, and that is absolute, and I also want to give it a backface visibility property. So WebKit backface visibility, and I want it to be hidden. Okay, so that's it for the face. And for the front, what I want to give is, I just want to give it a value of absolute, positioning value of absolute. And then for our back, what I want to give a position of absolute, that is absolute, and again I want to give it a transform, but at this time I want it to be rotate. I want this to be rotated on the back side, so which is WebKit transform, and want it to be rotate 180 degree. So, and I also want to specify X, so it can know where, in which direction, on which axis we want it to rotate. So that's it, I guess. And there is one more property that I want to mention in this. Actually, not property, actually one more class that I want. So whenever we want to flip it, we have to add this class dynamically by using our JQuery. So let's call this flipped, and again in this we will rotate this. So WebKit transform, and rotate this again to 180 degree. So that's how we can rotate it back and forth. So let's see what we get here. So as you can see, the register is gone because now it is at the back of this login. And if I add this class, that is flipped class, so when I add this class here, so what I'll see is I'll see register. I see this register, but I don't know why it's going above this. So actually we're gonna fix that, so that's not an issue for now. So let's start with our login page first. So now let's come back to this and remove this flipped class, and again I see the login, and maybe the reason why I'm not getting it on the same surface, that's because I haven't mentioned any properties to this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give it a width of 100%, height of 100%, and then to the face element, sorry, to the face class, I'm also not gonna give it a width of 100% and height of 100%. And for front, actually I don't need this. I don't know why did I put this, because what I had here is position absolute, and we are already getting this from this face class, so there is no need to put this. And for back also we are getting this, so we just need these property here. So if I refresh this, we don't see any changes, of course, but what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start writing the markup for this. So let's create a class first, a div with a class sign in, and in this what I want is I want a header. In that header I want image. This is the name of the image that I want, and let's write display. And for class, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna name it DP, that is for display picture. And after this I want a heading that says welcome back, and after this I want a span tag which says sign in to your account. Yeah, so I save this. I'm getting this image here, which is really big for now. So let's do one thing now. For this sign in header, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give text align of center, and that actually put this in the center, but I still want to resize the image. So for that I'm gonna use the class that I have defined in that image, and give it a width of, I don't know, 130 pixel. So yeah, that looks fine. And yeah, so for this sign in class I don't want to specify much in this. I just want this for the margin. So margin top, and I want it 30 pixel. So yeah, that looks nice. And in this image, what I also want, I want this image to be in round, actually in a circle, sorry. So for that I'm gonna specify border radius, and I'm gonna make it to 50%, so that we get this round, this circle. After that I've misspelled welcome. So actually the welcome looks big, and I can also style it by the CSS, but as long as we have these inbuilt header tags we can use. And for this span tag, I don't want it to be this big actually, and actually I want it to be this big, but not this color. I want it to be a little bit faded. So what I'm gonna do is in this sign in, or I'll just say span, so it's gonna select all these span, so which is not there. It's actually the only span in our HTML right now. So for color, and I want to use the same color that I used for this content, so I'm just gonna see, okay, this is span. So what else I can do is I can remove this and make it work. So if I remove this, I just make sure, yeah, still works, and this also got changed. So now for our form, so after this header, I want a form, sorry, I don't want any form action because we don't need it. I do want a div with the ID of field, and inside that I just want to put the input element. So let's say this is text, and for this I just want placeholder. I don't need to specify any other property because we are not gonna give it any functionality of form. So just the placeholder, and let's say username, and I want to copy this, and for this I just want to say password, and for placeholder as well, password. So yeah, we got these. Now after this I also want a button. So for this I'll give it a class of btn for button, and sign in. Yeah, so let's start styling this. For our form, what I want is I want it to have a width, sorry, I keep misspelling width, width of 80%, and margin auto, so which is gonna put this in the middle. So yeah, and I also want margin from the top, so let's say 50 pixel, and yeah, from the bottom as well it's gonna give. So in this form now I want to style these fields that we have. So for this field, so I'll give it a width of, let's say, 100%, and margin of 20 pixel and 0 pixel for left and right, and that's it. That's all I want in this. And for our input field, what I want is to have a width of 100%, so that it goes all across the pane, and yeah, like this. And I also want to give it a height of 50 pixel. Let's see, yeah, it's too big, so let's make it 40. Yeah, that's right actually. And but I don't want it to have any border, so border none, so we don't have any border now, but I do want to have some underline. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change the height to 35 pixel, let's say, and I'm gonna give it a padding of 5 pixel for bottom, and then I'm gonna give it a border from background, sorry, for border from the bottom. So border bottom, and let's make it 1 pixel solid and the same color that we are using. So this. Now I want the font size to be a little bit big, so let's say 20 pixel. Yeah, 20 pixel. Now what else do I want? I just want to style this button that we have. So for button, width of 100% and a background color of let's say, I don't want it to be completely black, and for the text I want to make it white, and for border I don't want any border on this, so none, and I just want to give it a border radius of 5 pixel and height of 30 pixel, a little bit more, 35 pixel. Yeah, and I also want to give it some margin from the top, because I will be moving this upward for I'll be doing some sort of transition on this, so that I can have that much space. So let's see, 5 pixel. So no, let's make it 10. Yeah, now I want to change the cursor when I hover over this, so pointer, and I want to give it a transition of to all the properties, and for let's say 0.3 seconds, and ease in. That's the transition that I want. So now hover and then transform and then translate y in, I don't know, -5 pixel. So it goes up. So when it goes up, I also want to give it a shadow, so it looks like it's coming upwards, like on the z-axis. So for that, box shadow of still, and this is the amount of blur that you want, and actually this is the length of the shadow that you want. So let's make it 10 pixel for now. Let's see how it turns out. So yeah, do you see this? But it also goes up, so I'm gonna make this 10, and let's make this 0 for now. Yeah, but it doesn't seems to be working. I don't know why. Let me put this here instead. Maybe I need to remove this property, then let's see. No matter what I do, I'm not getting that shadow. Box shadow, and yeah, that's right actually. RGBA. Let's make this 6. The y-axis I didn't give it. Yeah, now as you can see, we have this shadow. So I don't want it from the start, but I want this when we hover over this. So when I hover, we get this shadow, so it actually looks it's coming up. So now the fourth property that I was talking about is like if I give it a, let's say, 2 pixel, -2 pixel, so you don't see any difference. Now let me make this 10. Yeah, now the shadow is gone. Actually it is the length of the shadow that you want. So if I make this 5, you see there is a little bit of shadow. I don't know, maybe you guys are able to see this or not. So when you write this code, you will be able to see this. And so after that, let's move on to our back face. And actually that's done. So this is it for the login that I want to do. Yeah, there's one more thing. I want to remove this. So on our input element, when I focus on this, I don't want any outline. So for that outline to be none. So now it's gone. So now you can write. Yeah. So now let's start our register. So for that, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this flipped class so that we can see the register page. Flipped. Yeah. So we get our register here. Now so for this, let's start with the header. So I want a header here as well. In this header, I don't want any image though, but I do want one h3, and in that I just want to say welcome. Yeah, just welcome, because the user hasn't registered yet. So welcome, and then a span tag, and in that I just want to mention please provide the below details. Yeah, that's it. So if I see this, it's already in shape, because it's taking the properties that we defined for this header. So actually yeah, sorry. So for this sign in, we have defined it inside this header, so that's why it's behaving like this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna remove this, because I want this to apply to all the headers, and we only have 2. So we get this. And for this also, I want this to wrap inside I don't know, let's say sign up div. Yeah, sign up div. And for this sign up, for this I'm just gonna put this here, sign up. So we want the same space for both. So yeah, now it's pushed down a little bit. So please provide the below details. So what details do we want? We just have to specify now. So form, and we don't want any action, and in that we want a div with field class, and inside that we want input element with text and with placeholder of first name, or let's say just say name. And after this, I'm just gonna copy these now. So this one is for username, for email, and for password and confirm password. So this is text, this is for username, and this is for email, and password, and confirm password. Now for the type, I want this to be of password type, and same for this one. So when I save this and refresh, I get all these fields here. And these all have those those CSS style that we defined, because we defined it for all the inputs here, all the inputs. So after this, actually these, sorry, so I'm not gonna style these now because it doesn't really make any difference to me right now, because there's not a lot of markup here, so it's not really gonna confuse me or anything. So I'm not gonna waste my time on that. And here I just want to say sign up. Yeah, sign up. So we get this button, and that's because we have written is sorry guys, I don't know what I'm doing here. Button, and I want this to be of class btn, and yeah, I got this now. And in this I just want to say sign up. Yeah, so I got this text, and it also has this effect. So the only thing which is left now is our jQuery. So for that, what I'm gonna do is first of all, I'm gonna include the CDN. If you want to download that, that's all up to you, but I'm just gonna use the jQuery CDN. So I'm just gonna go to jQuery CDN, and from this link, from this CDN link, I'm just gonna grab the minified version of the jQuery, which is this one, I guess. Yeah, so just copy this and script and source, and I'm just gonna paste this in here. And at the bottom, I just want to link our script file, which we haven't created yet. So, and we don't need to create a file. We just need a little bit of jQuery in this. So let's do it by selecting the document.ready. So basically I want this to run when this document is ready. So, and I'll be using ES6 literal, so that is this. And what I want is when we click on the buttons that we have set here, so I'm just gonna give them ID just real quick. So I'm just gonna say in, and for ID I'm just gonna say up, like this. So sign in and up, these are the IDs that I've given them. So by default I don't want this class to be added, so I'm gonna remove this flipped class. I'm gonna remove this flipped class, and now what I want to say is first let's select up. Okay, so this is sign up. So basically what I want, when I click on this, I want to run a function. So this is the function, and in that function I just want to specify like yeah, so select that card class. So we have this card, and just add class flipped. Yeah, that's it. And when I click on in, and click on in. I want this to run a function again. Function again. So in that I just want to say like get that card class and simply remove the class flipped. So let's see if that works. So I'm just gonna refresh this, so we get this. So when I click on sign in, I didn't get any changes. So let's see what's wrong here. So let me open the dev tools, and we do get unexpected token or index HTML 97. So we have one unexpected token here. Yeah, this is actually I wrote this wrong. It's supposed to be like this. Sorry, these are the dollar symbol that we use. I was thinking about the ID, so I put it like this. I'm sorry for that. So let's see, refresh this again and click on sign in. Again we don't see anything. So let's see if it actually gets added. So let's see the card class here. So when I click on this, nothing happens. And oh yeah, actually sign up. When I click on sign up, changes. Oh, that's because I must have wrote X instead of Y. Yeah, actually that's why it goes like this. So I wanted it to be actually like this. Sorry, like this, but anyways the functionality of this works, like which is really important. So that's it. Like I've told you, like I'll come back to this perspective. So basically what I was trying to explain, if I make this 100, so now when I refresh this, so now see, when I do this, it comes all the way to the screen, and it looks like from the point you are watching this, and the place where it's actually happening, you don't have much distance, so it's coming really close to you. So I'm just gonna change it back to 1,000, and now it kind of moves there only, so it's like you are watching it from a distance. So that's it for this video, guys, and I hope you find it you know interesting, and maybe you can use it somewhere in your projects that you do. And if not this login page, then you can at least use this backface visibility property of the CSS, which I think it's really nice. So that's it for this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks.